on the data using parallel jobs. But why we need a sequence job? Sequence job helps us to create a flow of execution. Like, so we have done so many things, right? Like we have removed the duplicates, or we have applied the filter, and then we used funneling, we used many transformations, right? But I want first the data need to be applied with remove duplicates. Then on the data where we do not have duplicates, on that data I would like to apply some filters. Then on the filter data I would like to do some funneling action. So I have a dependency. First, I need to extract the data from database, and I need to remove duplicates from the data which is available on database. Then I'm going to save that whole data to a sequential file. Again, from the created file, again, I would like to apply some more transformation. So here I have a dependency, and also I need to execute one after the other. In such cases, we can execute everything one after the other using sequence. Okay, so sequence job enables us to execute the jobs in a desired sequence, one by one. One by one parallel jobs can be executed through a sequence. How we can do it is, so the general section do have very common things which are nothing but annotation or description annotation and link. All these three are nothing but just to a link, we all know, right? To join two stages, and annotation is just for adding some description. Can you click on sequence tab? In the sequence tab, we are going to have the actual things we do have. So you might be asked this question: what are all the activities that we can perform through a sequence? So we can create a loop, we can create a job activity, we can send an email notification, we can stop the job, or we can wait for a file, or we can run a Unix command, and we can add an if else condition also, or else we can also execute routines using routine activity. So here you can see all those activities: end loop activity, execute command activity, nested condition, routine activity, start loop, user variables activity, and couple other things. So the primary thing which we need is job activity. Can you drag the job activity to the drawing area? So job activity is used to call a parallel job. Can you open this one? Have you developed any parallel job, Dhanush?
సేవ్ చేయలేదు కా.
Okay. Okay.
ఇంకా
So
1 minute రికార్డ్.
it is recording. It is recording on my machine. Okay.
ఓకే.
Can you double click? Click on the job. A general tab is just for giving some information on what job is about. In the job tab, we can call the parallel jobs here using the three dots. Okay. If we click on those three dots, it asks to call the job. So A job is there, right? Can you click on that A? A. The parallel job name is A. Huh. Click on open now. Then this A job is linked to this job activity. So if I run this sequence, then internally it will execute that A parallel job. Okay. Here the execution action is there. So there are three options: run, reset if required, then run, reset only. So what reset will do is, on each and every run, it will reset that particular parallel job. What is resetting means? Say suppose my job, there are if you open data stage director, if you see the job status there, jobs can be in compiled state, or it can be in finished state, it can be in aborted state, or it can be in just saving mode without non-compiled state. So these are a couple of the states of jobs. If we just save the job without compiling, then the state of the job is not compiled. If we execute, if you develop the job and did some compilation, then compiled successfully will come. If we run the job, then finished is the status which will come. If there are some warnings available in the job, then finished with warnings will come. Okay, you can see in your director by opening your project, there you will see the status with all these things whatever I told now: compiled, non-compiled, executed, I mean finished with warnings, finished. So finished means no warnings are there. Okay, so whatever may be the status, I would like to reset it. Resetting means it will bring the job to compiled state. whether that is in aborted state, whether that is in finished state or what. Whatever may be the state, where we are, this execution reset activity is going to keep the job in compiled state. So every time when we use this job activity, we'll keep that execution action as reset if required, then run. That is the appropriate option that we need to select. So select the second option, uh, right, and second option, reset if required, then run. Click on that one and click the cursor. Right. So below we do have parameters, right? In this job, no parameters are called, but we have seen how to add parameters. If at all any parameters are there for that particular parallel job, then all those parameters will be available in the gray section where the cursor is available now. Okay. So parameters are going to available in the gray section which you are seeing over there. We can add values to those parameters as well. So whatever parameters are present in the parallel job, they also need to be called in the sequence job as well. Because if we do have the parameters in sequence job, then only we can pass them to the called parallel job. So here the parallel job being called through a sequence. Can you click on OK? Now save this sequence job with some name. Then what happens is, so here we kept only one job activity. If we execute this job activity, then the parallel job A is going to be executed. Not only this job, we can add multiple job activities depending on the sequential flow. As I told, we can connect the sequential flow using job activities. Okay. So say suppose first I would like to add remove duplicates job, right? So my first job activity is going to perform removing the duplicates on the extracted data. Then the output which is available in my first job is going to be input for my second job. Then what I do, I'll take one more job activity. And can you drag one more job activity? Now link these two, link them using link, right click and drag.
One minute. Mouse.
Right click and drag, right? So here what happens, first job activity 0 is going to be executed, then job activity 1 is going to be executed. So only after finishing job activity 0, then only job activity 1 is going to be started. So we can control the flow of parallel jobs execution, and if we run only one sequence job, that will take care of execution of the parallel jobs. Not only parallel jobs, say for suppose I am saving this sequence job as sequence 1. Then there is another sequence called sequence 2, another sequence called sequence 3. Now, I would like to implement these sequences one after the other. Then what I do, I'll create a master sequence where again I'll call 3 job activities. In the first job activity, I'll plug in sequence job 1. In second job activity, I'll call sequence job 2, and the third one I'll call sequence job 3. So not only executing the parallel jobs, but we can also execute subsequences. Then what happens is, can you minimize this one? Okay. Even this one as well. Right. Okay. So we can create a master sequence where we can control subsequences as well. From the subsequences, we can call parallel jobs. Then what happens, by executing single sequence, it will take care of the complete job flow. That is the main purpose of sequencer. And there are a couple other activities, right? Command activity is there. So what is that command activity is? Say suppose I would like to implement some Unix command in between these sequence jobs. For example, if the output of my first sequence is creating 3 files, then only I would like to Oh, then only I would like to execute my second sequence. Then this will not work.
ఆ, ఉంది కదా, డోంట్ పర్సనలైజ్. డన్.
Okay. So command line activity is going to use to execute any kind of Unix commands. Any kind of Unix commands means like changing the directory or counting the number of rows or counting the number of lines in a file or whether the file is available or not, or I would like to fetch only the header. Likewise, any kind of Unix commands can be uh, executed with the help of command line activity. Okay, job activity. Through this, we can call either parallel jobs or subsequences. Either thing we can call uh, loop activities. That means I would like to perform a job activity in a loop. Say, suppose there are three countries for which three different files are there. For India, there is one specific file. For China, there is one file is available, and for Pakistan, there is one another file. So I would like to execute same remove duplicate job for all these three countries. Then there is no need to create three different parallel jobs. Just we can execute same job by changing the parameters. So how we can change the parameters? While passing the parameter value in runtime, we can change. I'll show you while creating a sequence job. So using loop activity, there are two things: starting the loop and end loop. Okay, so this can be a counter or this can be a comma separated values. We can start and end the loop. Like I can say repeat this loop for 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, like that. Or else, say suppose from the previous job activity or from the previous command, there are country names available. So count the countries and execute the inside job, parallel job for these many times. Those things can be defined using loop activity. And nested conditions. So how this can be used is, say suppose if something is happened, then only execute this particular job, otherwise do not execute. Such kind of conditions can be given with the help of nested conditions. And say suppose I would like to execute job 1 and job 2 at same time, okay, parallelly. Then what I do is I will link these two to a sequencer. Okay, in the sequencer, there are two options. One is any, other one is all. Okay, so when these two are completed, then only go to job 3. So here a sequencer is one more activity which will control job flow. Only if my job 1 and job 2, if both the jobs are completed, then only go for job 3, or else either job 1 or job 2 completed. Out of these two, either one need to be finished, then you can go to job 3. So such kind of dependent execution can be defined using this job sequencer activity. And notification activity. Say suppose my job got aborted, failed, then I would like to receive a notification so that production support team will take care of that particular failure. Or else some sequence is finished, then I would like to receive a notification so that there is no need to check each and every job on daily basis, right? By seeing the success notification, we'll understand that particular job sequence is finished successfully on production environment. Okay, so to get those notifications, this notification activity will be there. It is going to send a mail to the support team. So support team will be monitoring those mails. If at all anything is aborted, they'll get a mail notification. Then only they'll go and check the logs for job failure reason or so and so. That is notification activity. So these are couple of things which we can able to perform using a sequencer job, unlike parallel job. In parallel job, what we do have sequential file stage or Oracle stage or Teradata connector or transformations, links, copy stage, or all those transformation stages are available, and CDC or change data capture. We will try to understand each of those transformations with a scenario. So there are many transformations which we can apply through the parallel jobs, but those are not available in a sequencer. The main purpose of the sequencer is to have a continuous flow or to execute the parallel jobs in a sequence, in an ordered sequence as per the business requirement that we can accomplish through a sequence job. Hope you get a high level understanding on sequence job. Can you go back to that particular window? Now I'll show you all these things on the data stage environment. Can you open the data stage which is there at your taskbar? So this is job activity, and here terminator activity is there, right? What is terminator activity means? Say suppose my job is aborted at job activity 1 0, then no need to execute job activity 1. Instead, stop this particular sequence, do not execute this particular sequence. Then what we do, we will keep a terminator activity. Okay, sequencer I told now, if any of these jobs are failed, then immediately can you bring that sequencer to the right side? Now link these two job activities to the sequencer. Link. Right. Again from now bring up a terminator activity. Now link from sequence 3 to terminator activity. Okay. Can you double click on sequencer 3? Click on sequencer. Here two modes will be there. Click on that all and any. Okay. Cancel this one. So what I did, I have linked job activity 0 and job activity 1 to sequencer. If any of my job is failed, either job activity 0 or job activity 1, then what will happen? This sequencer will tell to stop the sequence. That is what the terminator activity will do. If I click all, can you open the sequencer? As of now, it is all mode, right? So all means if both the jobs are aborted, then only go to the terminator activity. So likewise, we can create a dependency on multiple job activities using sequencer. And after termination, click on cancel. Bring a notification activity after terminator activity. Right. Now link the terminator activity to the mail activity. Now what happens? Okay. Now what you do is click on OK. Remove the terminator activity. First, keep the job notification activity. And then from the notification, keep terminator activity. That means if any of this job is failed, then send a notification to the support team. After sending the notification, terminate the job. Okay. Wait for file activity. What it does is, say suppose there is a dependency on file arrival. Like there is another team which is generating files for this particular team. So daily mornings at 6 o'clock, we need to get a file from team 1 to run this particular job. Then what we do is we will keep a wait file activity, wait for 10 minutes for this particular file. Say suppose because of some network issue or some problem on the dependent team, if the file is delayed, then we need to wait for that file, right? So we'll make use of this wait file activity by giving some time period, wait for 1 hour or wait for 5 minutes, and then check the file. If the file is arrived, then start the execution. If the file is not arrived, wait for so and so time. If the complete time is completed, then we'll keep a notification activity saying that today there is no file found at the source path, so we are not executing this particular sequence today. Like that, we are going to send a notification and we will not execute the sequence further. So we can do all these kind of things using a sequencer. Exceptional handler means there is exceptional handler. So say suppose with some exception there is, even though the job is aborted, take it as an exception and continue further. For those cases, we'll make use of this exceptional handler. And user variable activity. The purpose of user variable activity is, say suppose I executed a command through command line activity To capture the output of that command as a parameter, we'll make use of this user variable activity. In user variable activity, we can call the parameters which can be passed to the next job activities that are being using. When we are using, then we will try to understand more into these things. And you will be asked a question like, have you anytime developed a sequence or not? If so, what are all the kind of activities that you can able to perform using a sequence job? These are two primary things. And they might ask what is the purpose of each of this job, each of this stage, which is available in a sequence. Okay. Now we'll try to create a parameter set. We all understood how to call parameters, right? And we can also create parameter sets. What is the difference between parameter and parameter set is, can you open that job A? So, no, not here. If we save this one and compile this one and execute this one, the called parallel job is going to be executed. Click on file, open, and double click on A, right? So here the job properties are there, right? Click on job properties. In the Oracle connector stage, say suppose Oracle connections are there, right? Server, username, ID, and password. So those four things are same for all the users, irrespective of the development activity. Because we are all working, say suppose we six are belong, we five, four are belong to same project. Then there is a Oracle connector which is being using by the project. Then all four of us are going to use same credentials for sure, right? Then what we do is we'll create a parameter set. If I need Oracle connection, then I will call that parameter set. So when there is a common usage of parameters among all the developers, then in such cases, we will create parameter sets. Can you open the job properties, which is yellow color icon? Not this one. Cancel here, top right, that is all. So click on parameters. Click on add parameter set. Okay, before adding the parameter set, first we need to create the parameter set. So that need to be created through admin client. So this is designer client, right? In admin client, first we will create a parameter set. Like Oracle connection is the parameter set name. Inside Oracle connections, I'll give server, user, ID, server, user, and password. These three things, these three parameters, I give a name like Oracle credentials. Okay, then there is no need to add separate parameters for those things. Directly we can call that parameter set and we can add on to the job properties as parameters. So that is the main difference between parameters and parameter sets. Parameter sets can be used globally by the whole developers of a particular project, whereas job level parameters, which we are defining here locally, are being used only for this particular parallel job. Okay, can you click on cancel? So here in our previous class, we have added file path, file name, so and so, right? Those are visible only to this particular parallel job A. That is not going to visible to the other parallel jobs because those are local to this particular parallel job. Whereas parameter set is visible to all the jobs that are available in a project. So parameter set can be used in any of the parallel job that is going to defined in a project. Okay. Hope you get the difference between parameter and parameter set. And so we will create sequence jobs tomorrow. I don't see many people over here. That's why I'm winding up today a little early. Click on cancel. Close this one, Dhanush. I'm stopping the record as well.
ఆల్సో దిస్ మ్యామ్, ఇది కూడా క్లోజ్ చేసేయమంటారు.
Can you make me host? I don't see much people, right? That's the reason I'm winding it up. So still, what are all the other things that we need to see are this developing a sequence job, making use of all these activities, job activity, loop activity, nested conditions, command line activity, these things. Coming to the parallel jobs, we are left with using even though we have developed 3 to 4 jobs using transformer, Still, we can create some scenarios where we can make use of other functions that are available in a transformer stage. Then we will see FTP stage and CDC, change data capture, aggregator, difference stage. Oracle connector we have already seen, right? I will explain SAP connector, S3 bucket, but I will not show how to execute because I do not have the environment for the connection. And what else we do have? Change data capture. Okay, peak stage we have already done, right? How to create parameter sets from the admin client, how to create a parallel project in admin client, and how to debug the things, how to handle errors, or how to remove the warnings from a job. So these are a couple of the things which we are going to see further. That's all. Maybe with that we are going to close the uh, basic understanding on data stage. Later, we will work on scenario based developments where daily I'll show one requirement and I'll also send an assignment on another requirement which I will ask you to work on them. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Akka, 1 minute.
Mhm. Can you first give me the control?